Hey guys, my name is Emily. Today I'm going to show you my process for painting this golden retriever dog named Winston. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy. For a complete list of the supplies used in this project, just check out the description below the video. Today's painting is fairly small, so when working a little smaller, I always use my favorite palette, which is my Mahillo 18 well airtight palette. You can see there's still plenty of space for mixing and lots of room for all the colors I need. I'll be using an assortment of warm and cool colored paints. My favorite brands are Daniel Smith and Holbein. My brushes for this project are Gray Matters by Jack Richardson. And of course, anytime I do a watercolor painting, I need my paper towel, spray bottle, some clean water, and my paper for today will be Fabriano Artistico 140 pound cold pressed cotton watercolor paper, a 5x7 inch block. I really like blocks because the paper is glued down on all sides, and so it will not buckle or warp, and when it dries completely flat. I've already lightly drawn Winston onto my paper using a mechanical pencil, and I extended his ear a little bit because the reference photo cut it off. Using my spray bottle, I wet the paint before I get started. I'm mixing up a light mixture of turquoise blue and water, and also a light mixture of yellow ochre and water. I use clean water to wet the area that's in shadow. Then using my turquoise mixture, I can gently drop it into the shadow side of the dog's face. I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow ochre and just gently drop it in. Let the two colors bloom and mix on the wet paper. I use burnt umber in the shadow area of the ear, and then I'm mixing indigo and alizarin to create a deep purple for the cooler shadow areas. If edges start to bleed a little too much, you can use a clean damp brush to wipe away that bleeding edge. Although on pets I think it works because it creates almost a fur texture without even having to try. I'm adding some ultramarine, a cool blue, along the brow and where the ear meets the top of the head. A combination of burnt umber and the purple mixture that I created with indigo and alizarin is perfect for the shadows under the neck and under the head. The paper is still wet, so the paint is blooming nicely, creating a fur texture. I use light, watered-down brush strokes in the light areas. I use more ultramarine to darken the muzzle in the shadow area, along the edge of the neck, and a clean wet brush stroke will let that edge bloom like fuzzy fur. I use a mixture of my two blues, ultramarine and turquoise blue, in the side of the face where the shadow is. And I'm constantly using my paper towel to pat my brush dry and control how much water goes on the paper. The shadow area around the eye is a little warmer and darker, so a mixture of blue and burnt umber works well here. I use a resist crayon to drop in some snowflakes into the background. I use clean water to brush all over the background. My background trees are going to be a mixture of undersea green, indigo, and turquoise blue. This will create a rich evergreen color. Drop it into your wet background to create misty green trees. You can use a sideways, dabbing, or squiggling motion with the brush. My paint is bleeding into the top of the head a little too much, so I just dab it with a paper towel to clean up the edge. For the eyes, I'm using lamp black, almost straight out of the tube. I'm using my small round brush. I use a clean, small, damp brush to pull some of that color into the eye socket shadow. One of my favorite techniques to create fur texture is to splay my brush. Yeah, it's kind of hard on the brush, but it works really well. And these brushes are great, they can take it. Now that the eye is finished, I have a better sense of what my darkest value is. I can start darkening the shadow areas. Time to paint the nose. I'm using black again, and I can also use my brush kind of on the side with a more of a dry brush technique, which means wet paint on a dry background to use the texture of the paper and create that nose texture. I darken the muzzle and below the mouth. I'm always checking and looking at the whole painting to see how balanced my color is. If it looks like there's a little too much blue in one area, it's okay to balance it out and try to make the picture look harmonious. So I'm adding a little more ultramarine to the ear. Add more details. I'm adding darker trees to the background, using undersea green and indigo. I like to use that squiggling sideways motion to create the suggestion of evergreens. I'm darkening the values as necessary. Working in layers really creates depth and helps you build up your values gradually. The neck area is dry, so it's a great time to add a few more details to the neck fur. I'm finishing the trees. Once it's dry, I'm going to use my white gouache and my smallest brush to add more snow and to put in the dog's whiskers. You may have noticed that these trees do not look like the trees in the reference photo. That's okay. Winston lives in Alaska and he's a snow dog. So this picture was actually commissioned, and the owner of Winston really wanted him to be in a snowy setting. So the beauty of being an artist is that you can do that. You can change things from the reference photo and make it even better. Just one of the many things I love about being an artist. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new here, hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. I'll be posting every week. So thanks for stopping by.